Hey Capricorn, welcome to February 2018. So cards aren't really jumping out for you guys just yet, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It means that your subconscious doesn't have too much to say. There was two cards that popped out, and it's having a lot of rest, kind of doing your own thing. It's the Four of Swords, kind of just in deep rest right now, kind of doing your own thing. However, the Seven of Swords is that somebody really is a lot on your mind. So you've been doing some time alone, you've been doing some cocooning, putting family and friends aside for a little bit, but somebody is still really on your mind. And I'm also seeing don't throw stones if you live in a glass house. So either maybe that's why you feel like you kind of have to separate yourself from this person, do your own thing, just because they're either criticizing you a lot or they're doing a lot that is just really bothering you, where you're like, I'm just going to kind of do my own thing, but you're thinking about them a lot. And now, of course, all the cards pop out. We have Knight, King of Pentacles, so somebody who is very well off when it comes to their power, has good integrity. Like there's something about their honor and integrity that is very admirable. And I'm seeing kind of like like either like a cough, like either like a smoker's cough, or they could have a sound in their name, something like that. Maybe even just like knuckles, like I'm seeing on the knuckles. So they could also just like crack their knuckles and it makes a weird sound. This person definitely is somebody that you're worried about, and you're worried about their power and whether or not their changes are powerful enough in order to give them the freedom that they need. New frame of mind has to come in when it comes to that. You kind of have to start doing your own thing and just separating yourself from it, because it really just is this greed here, this power greed that is forcing you to want to kind of, help them with their changes. And that power greed is also stemming from this younger water type sign as well, along with this person who is definitely very abundant, very focused on money, very slow and steady, has something about their voice that is very prominent to you. And also when it comes to these people, this fighting for change. So Capricorn, we have these two cards that popped out, which is all about taking rest at home, a lot of sleeping at home, but something still being on your mind. And then when we talked about that, we had the King of Pentacles. So somebody who's, like I said, very has a lot of honor and integrity, very focused on their finances, very focused on their power, and that's where that integrity is coming from. That's where that honor is coming from, and they're kind of stubborn and they're kind of not budging, and that's creating some worry within you, where it's like, why don't they make the changes that they need, especially when it comes to their power as well? Why aren't they making that changes? You're worried that if they make those changes, they're either going to be leaving someone out in the cold, or they themselves will be left out in the cold. But a new frame of mind has to come in when it comes to that situation. You kind of have to step back a little bit and kind of let them figure it out on their own, because that's how they're going to grow the most. And they need to kind of figure out what's going to make them feel powerful, and then they can finally hoard that power, especially when it comes to this younger, watery type person who is kind of not effeminate, but there is something about them, either their cheeks, where there's something very feminine about them. And then there's also this other beautiful person who definitely is really focused on abundance, really focused on growth of abundance as well, and really fighting a lot. There's a lot of fighting involving all these people when it comes to freedom and change and doing what they need to do in order to empower themselves. So the theme of the reading, Capricorn, is huge overburden of responsibilities, creating a change, a change coming in that has shifted some things, but you are still feeling very powerless. Although you've invested a lot, you've been sleeping a lot of time in bed alone. It seems like a lot of time kind of feeling like sometimes it feels like dreams in bed is like you're sinking into it, like it's consuming you. But there is still some positivity there, especially surrounding this Knight of Pentacles, this younger, you know, person who's got really nice hair and who's really focused on their power and on their money. But it is time to make some changes. It is definitely time to make some changes because you're feeling very pinned down. And the full moon that is happening on January 31st is the second part of the full moon lunar eclipse that happened August 21st, 2017. So this is a super blood blue moon total eclipse in Leo. So it is all about childhood traumas, all bringing those up to the surface and figuring out what is it in our childhood that is making us act like how we act right now. So what is it in your childhood that makes you feel like you kind of have to be pinned down and holding on to a certain situation? Once you recognize and clear that, you'll be creating a lot more positivity, a lot more opportunities for growth and for action, okay? So that's the theme of this reading. The situation at hand for February 2018 for Capricorn is support, either lack of support, either giving too much support, either needing too much support, but it is all support related, coming from friends and family, and figuring out what it is that you need to feel whole and to feel supported. The obstacle and the aid is this emotional family, this idea of a happy family. So that's how it's going to, that's this idea of happy family, whether you have it or you want it, is what's going to make you feel supported, but it's also going to hinder whether or not you feel supported as well, because this idea of how a family should support you is going to hinder your ability to feel supported. But subconsciously, Capricorn, you're doing really well. Everything is looking beautiful under the surface. Still thinking that you have to kind of find that balance though. Still thinking that you have to kind of find that power balance. Temperance, once again, this is now, you were the 12th reading. That's why the energy is a little bit low. You're the 12th reading, and every single reading for every single zodiac sign has had the Temperance. This is like the main theme of February, is balance and realizing that, you know, we haven't made enough adjustments. We haven't moved forward enough. We're so complacent where we're at. But that's why this total eclipse in Leo is going to completely change everything around. It's going to cause a major shift that we're going to start to see materialize within the next 6 months, because we've just been too steady and complacent where we're at. And now the eclipse coming in, excuse me, it's like no more. You right now are doing very well, Capricorn. You're at a place of prominence where you're like, I can sit down and just own what I've created so far. I can sit down, I can take a rest and just let it breathe, let it marinate, because I've been working so hard. I've been completely overburdened with responsibilities. Let me just enjoy what I've created so far. Let me just enjoy it right now and not be constantly battling and struggling when it comes to how people are viewing me. Family and friends, they have their hand out though. Family and friends are like, oh, they still kind of feel like that you owe them. They still kind of feel like, well, when are you going to give back, you know? As long as it's balanced, absolutely give back. Maybe that's where the lack of support is coming from. Maybe they feel like, you know, you're finally doing so well, you found your balance. When are you going to empower me? Hope and fear is what you're putting out there, though. You know that what you're putting out there isn't necessarily positive, isn't necessarily something that's going to catapult you forward. So it is time to recognize that, you know, you have your world in your hands, literally in the palm of your hands. You can create anything that you want. And it's all about whether or not you want to create the life that you actually enjoy, or if you want to create more hard times, right? It's all about what you want to create. The last card, Capricorn, is this Queen of Cups. So this person who is pretty emotional, very risky. Like there's something about this person that there is some risk involved when it comes to this person. Mainly because when it comes to them, you're going to have to take a very, very deep leap of faith into, you know, the depth of your emotions. And as a Capricorn, as an earth sign, that can be kind of risky for you and scary for you, but it's going to be absolutely beautiful. The first step is to recognize that you're still doing this dance, this power balancing act, and it's still really hindering your self-esteem and your beliefs and your values and how you feel about yourself. It definitely is probably stemming back from a childhood trauma or childhood issue where, parents said, when it comes to finances, especially, like, what did your parents teach you about finances, especially if you're female? Because I've noticed that money equals power for women. So a lot of the times women will kind of, husband will take care of the finances and they just completely, they're handing away their power. So that is the first step, is to recognize that you're still doing that power dance, and it is going to come to a point where, the whole family is empowered. The whole family is empowered. Take that leap of faith with this Queen of Cups. Go deep into your childhood traumas. Dive right into it to clear it with this full moon energy. That's all I pretty much have for you guys. It's a short month, so a short reading. If you need a personal reading in order to get deeper into this and to figure out what those childhood traumas could be, please send me an email. My email is below, and I'm looking forward to talking to you guys. I hope you have an amazing February 2018. I'll see you in March. Bye, Capricorn.